Hi there, welcome back to Not Another Budget. I'm Nicole, and on this channel I'm attempting to cash budget my way out of debt and fix several years of financial misbehaviour. So if that's something you're interested in following along with, please don't forget to stick around and check out the other content I've created for you on this channel. Now I am back with just a very brief hi, I'm back video. I alluded to in my community post that I haven't been well, and in reality I've not been well for some time, either physically and then as a result of that mentally either. And with everything, and this is going back to probably October time, but with losing my granddad and then nearly losing my cat and just trying to get through deadlines and teacher training, it was something that I had been putting off, medically dealing with, and then also ensuring that I was doing all the quote unquote right things with regards to kind of looking after my mental health and well-being as well. So it ended up being about 3 weeks ago when I last posted a video, and not long, a couple of days after that, basically all of the plates that I was juggling, a couple of things had to drop, and one of them was YouTube. Now I can't drop the school teacher training plate. I can have to be mindful of, obviously, my health, and something which I thought was under control and thought was being relatively well medicated. But sometimes your body builds up a certain resistance to things and you need to take a new track, and it was definitely something, as I said, that I was ignoring, and because it's my health I am going to keep that private. And whilst, new medication, more regular treatment is slowly starting to turn that around, actually I like feeling like I've got all of my ducks in a row and, quite frankly, all my shit together, and feeling that I can juggle all of those plates and not let anything drop, and having to just kind of go, the one thing which I really enjoyed a lot of my time doing, because I do enjoy YouTube. There are things that I wish I could do more with it, and there are things that I definitely wish I could do, and there are things that I put off introducing. And then, going, okay, right, there's things that I want to achieve, there's goals I want to achieve for both the channel, for myself as a budgeter, even in lines with what I want to do for a budget. Actually, that's just too much right now for brain to handle. It's one thing at a time, and the most important thing right now is the teacher training and the PGC deadlines and health, kind of as a cluster of those three. Physical health, I should say. My I want to be back regularly, because I think that regularity is going to help, because part of the juggling all of the plates, and trying to spin all of the plates, meant that, like I said, the taking time for me, taking 10 minutes out to film part of a video, or to update my budget, or to think about some priorities, or just kind of dream, what do I want to do with this. I can remember, I've got a big student loan payment coming through in April, and normally by now there would have at least been a couple of videos where I was kind of talking through plans and things, and I have absolutely, I'll be honest, no enthusiasm or desire to do either, because I feel like at the minute mentally, whatever I'm going to decide to do is going to be wrong, which is absolutely stupid, and ultimately it's my money and I can do with it what I like. But I do feel like financially there are things that I want to do and I want to achieve this year, and I have definitely felt alongside the physical health aspect that's had an impact, tying in line with the mental health aspect as well. It's well, your income isn't enough to do everything, so therefore don't bother. Now I've not increased my debt at all. I've not equally prioritise putting anything away to savings last month. It just became very much a non-priority, and the budget as regards to last month just went, you need to pay this for your medication, you pay this. If you need to get through the day and you stop at a Starbucks and you buy a coffee in the morning because it just gets you through the day and that's mentally what you need to do, that's what you do. If you've not bulk bought appropriately for the cat's food, because I didn't, then it's more, now you have to kind of buy a box a week. Then you're buying a box a week and it's more expensive to do it that way. Fine. That's very much where February's budget February's budget went. And it just became a just survive, and just get through. Hang on. Right, you're being an absolute shiitake mushroom, but come join in. This one has been a source of worry for me because he's not putting weight on how I want him to, despite all of the extra costing food. And he is back at the vets next month. Aren't you? He's back at the vets next month. Come here, come on. You're causing all this trouble. Why don't you just come see people? So he's a bit of a skinny mini at the minute. So we're just keeping an eye on that. And he's currently moaning because I've cooked off some chicken and he wants some chicken. And as per usual, he has derailed everything I was talking about, which I had planned and made good sense of. I'm sorry, I'm just checking him on something. Okay. There's lots of things that I want to do budgeting wise. Lots of savings goals that I have, lots of things that I can dream about and think about, and I want them now, and that's kind of always been a bit of an issue for me, is I want stuff now. It's what led me into debt. It's what helped me get into the debt, is that thought process. And this is very much an unscripted me, just as usual, spilling out whatever happens. And this has kind of very much forced me to put brakes on. I think your physical health it got to the point where like mental health was like, oh wait, hang on, you're not paying attention to me, well, I'm just going to make you more sick, is what it felt like. And slowly on the mend there, very, very slowly on the mend there. And that's like the physical impacts of that are high amounts of fatigue and exhaustion, excessive brain fog. I sound like I'm describing the menopause. I'm not menopausal. But high amounts of fatigue, pain when breathing, heavy amounts of medication for lung related issues, basically, which just can, like, okay, all of my effort is going into the school day, and putting the mask on, and maintaining that high level of output, and being there for the kids, because at the same time as I was ill but in school, my mentor and their regular teacher was severely ill and off school. So it wasn't an ideal situation, and obviously that for me, when you're training and someone that's significant to you as part of your training process is absent for a month, and then Ofsteded as well in the middle of that, can cause just a normal level of stress, which put on everything else when my lungs and my body is not able to handle that very well, causes a bit of concern. I realistically think that certainly for probably the foreseeable future, I won't be able to avoid talking about mental health and money and budgeting, because I am wanting to return to the channel, because I think it's good for me, it's good for my budgeting, it's good to keep me accountable, and I have a wonderful supportive community. And I saw you all starting to creep in and comment in the last week and be like, hope you're okay, is everything okay? Because I think by that point you twigged that if I'm not making videos, I at least put something in the community post, and I just couldn't, because I was like, I didn't know when I would be back, and I didn't know in what shape I'd be back. At least at the minute there is some form of me able to kind of engage, but I feel very much at sea at the minute with my budgeting. I feel very much at sea with the plans and goals that I have. I am a little bit of a seasonal, cyclical individual, so I should have known that trying to do like New Year's stuff in the dead of winter was the worst thing for me, because I thrive when it's spring and it's autumn and it's the seasonal changes and everything is kind of either winding down in autumn or coming back as it is in the spring. And the kind of shoots of new growth and new life are definitely far more inspiring to planning for the future than just surviving the dead of winter. And not only was I needing to just survive in the dead of winter, I had so many things that I had not dealt with, either physically or mentally, that trying to sit there and plan and therefore work in a sustainable and excitable way towards a series of goals was probably the worst thing I could have sat down and done. Because now it means that realistically I'm probably going to reevaluate them and change them. And I don't want to be feeling like that was wasted time. It wasn't wasted time at all. But again, it's just that little narrative that you need to be aware of if your head is like mine at the minute. So if mental health and money is a bit of a no-go area for you, that's fine. So I don't mind if some of you go, not for us, for a bit. I don't mind that, because I fully get there are some videos out there where whatever the content, whatever it is, I feel like, yep, okay, I'm good, I can watch these, and then someone will say a thing, and I hate the fact that Triggered has been hijacked in such a quite often pedantic way. Oh my gosh, I'm so triggered. I hate the fact that term has been hijacked in such a way, slightly controversially, because to be truly triggered by something is not a pleasant experience, and it's not a phrase that should be thrown around lightly. But if that does happen to be you, and money and mental health are just completely like this, and I've talked a little bit about this in my live streams in the past, because that's a very kind of curated audience where not a lot of people go back and rewatch live streams, and it tends to be quite interactive. I think that I can't avoid now talking about that in line with my budgeting, because it's going to affect the budgets that I do, it's going to affect the financial decisions that I make, it's going to affect the goals that I feel like I can set for myself. It could mean that I will change my mind and my decisions very, very quickly. It could mean that a choice I make in one video I may either completely forget about, because there is a little bit of a black hole with memory going on at the minute, which is in itself is terrifying. They're just absolute go to retrieve the memory, and there or a memory of something, and there is nothing there at all, and dealing with that and then kind of working through it. Not wanting to feel like anything I've done with regards to penny savings or the £2 savings challenge or anything else has been a waste, but that has sat stagnant, and it's not a priority of mine at the minute. Going through and make sure I have enough change, or I can tick off a savings challenge in a little binder or whatever. That is not right now an immediate my priority. My immediate priority is, okay, there are still plates that I need to pick up again, and realistically I need to pick those plates up from where I let them drop. Some of the ones that I let drop, not just YouTube, were things like Vinted and destashing and the business, and those things practically, if I take the emotions and the way I'm feeling out of it, practically those things need to come back in at some point, because it is going to be to the detriment of my budget in, say, 3 or 4 times. I know that 3 or 4 months, I know that enough. I know that obviously in a month's time I just have to get through March right now, and I have that large payment. So if there is anything that I need to deal with regards to debt, I smashed my phone, so at the minute I'm filming on a phone with a fully shattered screen that is just working. Was that the trigger that made my brain break? Yes. Yes, it was. Of all the things. And again, I can't do anything with that contract until November of this year, so I will need to replace this phone. It's so badly broken, the screen repair guy was like, do you want to, okay, right. Yes, I think peeling glass level of screen broken. But that's something I'm going to need to deal with probably in April. as well. So things like that have popped up and surfaced, which are like, okay, sticking plaster for now, deal with it for this month. You know, Kat's going to have a few more vets visits in April, which are going to cost more money. So I know I have that extra cushion coming down the line. Didn't manage, like, had to cancel my housing inspection because I was not well enough for that. Then when I rescheduled it, he forgot to reschedule, which didn't help. So I was sat there for an hour. Mum had taken and retrieved and hidden the cat for me. He was going for a little drive with her. And by drive, I mean she put him in the car. They drove and parked around the corner. Literally at the back of my house, behind my house, where there's kind of a house that backs onto mine. So she went and parked in front of theirs. So she wouldn't have been seen, but that was, like, you know, an hour in the car, which was stress the cat didn't need, and, you know, rearranging something, trying to put work in to get that sorted. So there's been lots of little knocks and little things. And even sat filming this, I'm filming this at like 8:30 at night on Monday, and I have procrastinated filming this because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to come on and say. I know there's things I need to say. And I know a lot of it is going to be quite waffly and not make a lot of sense, and you're going to be just staring at my rather unattractive hands at the minute because they've just been submerged in a washing up bowl for an hour. But I am slowly physically on the mend. Mentally, I'm not going to say either way. Mentally, at the minute, I just am. But I do think that I am long overdue talking about money and mental health on this channel. I am not a scientific person. I am not a trained therapist. I will only be talking about my lived experiences, my current experiences, and the impact it's had. If that's not for you, as I've said, I do not mind saying goodbye to you for a little bit. As much as I want to grow this channel to 2,000 followers, I don't want to have anyone else feeling the way I'm feeling because of something I inadvertently reference or say. And that's what I mean by, like, truly triggered. That's not fair on anyone else. And you may find that, like, I will go through and I'll film things and I might say some things, and then in the next video I do something completely different, and it won't be purposefully done. It'll be me just not having the foggiest. That's what I've said, because the brain fog has invaded and the black hole of memory has taken it. And if I don't have the time to go back and rewatch the video to remind myself what I've said, what I've done beforehand, that may seem quite contradictory. Equally, I may struggle to be really upbeat and perky. There may be a few regular features like the savings challenges and stuff that are just going to disappear for a little bit, because I can't put, like, right now my focus is not on small change and £2 and colouring in a savings challenge. My focus is on, have I got enough money for my bills this month, and who do I need to pay, what bills have gone up as well, because most of them tend to go up in March. And actually, you know, I've not done a March budget yet. I've had the money in my account since Friday. I've not done a March budget. I've done spending on it, bills and things and pet stuff, but I've not done a March budget, mainly because I need to find out what bills have gone up. And then equally just trying to sit there and think, right, okay, can I sit down this week and think about the next 3 weeks? What's on my time? What am I doing? And if I can't do that, that's going to affect what I put out and what I do. So I am back in some format. I am going to attempt to be back 3 times a week and just get back into that regularity. And that is for me because I like recording these, despite the aforementioned procrastination. I like recording these and I like re-engaging with the community that I have created and built, and I hope to grow. But in line with that, I do feel like you deserve just a little bit more of a, where have you been and what's going on? And there are things that I just won't reference or mention, and that's my privacy. I'm as open as I can be, but there are some things actually I get not to be private about. I get to be private about, so I hope you can all respect that. I am going to go. So I will see you Wednesday. This is a bit of a later release today. I can't guarantee with any regularity what time the release will be on Monday, Wednesday or Friday, but there will at least be a release on those days in some form, and it may be the case that Friday is a live and I go live and have a bit more of a longer in-depth chat with you all about where things are at and what's going on. If that's something you would like, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I hope to see you all very soon, but for now I'm going to love you and leave you, so bye-bye for now.